Hi Nick here. It's the end of July and as everybody thinks, during winter it's quite quiet on a wine farm, but at Oldenburg we're full steam ahead all year. As you can see, there's this big heap of poles behind me, and by the day it's getting smaller and smaller. As you know, Oldenburg does not tolerate leafroll virus, and we've had to remove some of our vineyards due to leafroll. But the good thing is that we get a chance to replant again, and that's what's happening in the background here. So we've got a team busy knocking in poles. We should start planting in the first week of August, and we'll be planting for about a month. In the back here is our Cabernet Franc. Used to be a Cabernet Franc vineyard. We're putting some more Cabernet Franc in there because, as you know, Cabernet Franc from Oldenburg has been tops through the year. We're also putting in some Cabernet Sauvignon, and then next to our tasting room, some lovely Chardonnay. But yeah, let's go enjoy Christo. Let's take a quick look at the decisions we make and what type of devices and what type of inputs we need to make a decision on what to plant and where to plant and how far apart to plant. Christo, we're standing here in a block of Cabernet Sauvignon. Tell me a little bit, how did you make these decisions on what to plant here, what row width to go, how far to space the vines apart?
Nick, we started off with this to make some profiles, and with the profiles we got Johan from the Jager in from Wimpo, so he analyzed the soil, and on that we got the different soil map. Depending on the soil map, with this we decided this is how we're going to split the block, and with the row width and the planting as well. So the row width here we're at 2.5, and the row width is only you're looking at the steepness and if a tractor can fit in the implements.
Okay.
And within the plants we're planting 1.5 because the ground is a little bit vigorous. You can get vigorous growth. With the block next door is over 5, and this one is going to be over 4. So we're planting 1.5. So we're going to get 6 bearers on per side. So we're putting one bearer more than normal, and we're going to have 6 on the side, so that's going to be 12 shoots equals to 24 bunches per side of a vine.
Yeah, so if I understand you correctly, the more vigorous the soil, the further we plant the vines apart so that the cordon can become nice and big. More bearers on the cordon, that's going to pull down the vigor, and at the end, have concentration in the vineyard, smaller berries. And then tell me a little bit, this block was OV4, one of our best Cabernet blocks on Oldenburg. What have you done differently? After these vines were here for about 18 years, we've learned from the vines, but we've decided to change the structure of the block slightly. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in the past this OV4 was one block, one irrigation block. So we decided to split it in 2. The block more to the bottom has more bigger rocks, so there's a different soil type. So that's going to be one irrigation block, and the top side is a different soil again. That's going to be one irrigation block. We're going to farm it as one, so the wires are going to run through, but just on the irrigation we're going to split it, and that's going to have influence on the harvesting as well.
Okay.
And just one thing on the spacing as well. If we're doing further apart it because of the vigor. If you go closer apart, your vines tends to grow more vigorously. Everybody thinks that as the closer you plant, you're going to get less vigor.
Oh, there's no competition?
Yeah, there's no competition within the roots.
Okay.
So if you move them farther apart, they're going to occupy only their space, and they're not going to be in competitive with the vine next door. So they're not going to be forced to grow that vigorous.
Okay, interesting. Now that you know a little bit more about planting density, I'm standing here on a southerly slope of Oldenburg on the backside, one of the coolest slopes on the farm, and I've got a great example of 3 different trellising systems right next to each other. Behind me here we have a stalk of palki, so that is an échelé system where we have bush vine. Every bush vine has its own pole, and as you can see, our team is busy knocking in poles here. This is a Syrah vineyard. That's going to give us a lovely cool climate Syrah with lots of pepperiness that they're busy preparing for. This vineyard is going to be planted in a few weeks' time. To the left of me, we've got a young Chenin and Chardonnay vineyard. These are more on what we call VSP system, so that stands for vertical shoot positioning. They trellised. And then just above me, right at the top here, we've got our famous Grenache vineyard. Very, very windy site. That's why every vine has a granite rock against it to prevent it from being blown by the wind. And then right on the hill, just on the top of Oldenburg, we have another young Chenin vineyard, Also Stokkelpalki, Echley, because also a very, very windy spot. We used to have some Petit Verdot years ago at the top, and it got blown to pieces. We've decided to drop the Petit Verdot. We've put some Chenin there, and I've actually taken the first little small crop off it, and the wine's tasting superb. I want to let you in on a small secret. Christo doesn't know, but Adrian's put out a big challenge for him.
I think this winter with the replanting, I think we're putting out a challenge to Christo, and it's plant this block. This was was Chardonnay. We planted it in 2005, and leafroll came along, and we've had to remove it. But next door we planted that block of Chardonnay 3 years ago now, I think, and that's doing well. But it's amazing. This block is just full of rocks. I mean, you know, I think it's more rocks than soil. In fact, it's probably like 90% rock and 10% soil. So it's going to be a challenge to plant, but I think our man Christo's up for the challenge. But we'll come back to this in 3 or 4 months and see how he's gone.